Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. This is Ninth Legion, and let's play some more Starsector. So, after our recent combat, we actually have a lot of money, 427,000 credits. I think it's time we went and bought some new ships. So, we're going to be heading to Ragnar in the Valhalla system, and checking out the fleet depot there, and seeing what they have to sell to us. Now, before we go, there's not really much to do in Jangala. There's a few small pirate groups, one bounty that I can see. Other than that, not really too much to occupy us, so as we have a decent amount of supplies, we have a decent amount of fuel, and all of our ships are repaired, we're just going to head straight on out. So, jump into hyperspace. 10 fuel now to get all of our ships into hyperspace. We do have a number of ships, so I shouldn't be too surprised at that. No likely pirate groups around that I can really see. Looks like someone's getting trumped up there. So let's head up to Valhalla as quickly as we can. Using 15 fuel a day. That's going to go down a lot faster than I anticipated. But we have got a lot of ships now, so I shouldn't really be that surprised. Now I want to get to Ragnar. Not sure where their most direct place to come out is. Ragnar Gravity Well, but I probably can't come out there. I don't have the navigation for it, I don't believe. So we'll come out of Valkyrie Gate like we always do. Let's see. System is very quiet, actually. Very quiet indeed. Wow, Ragnar Complex is a long way away, though. This might be a little trip for us to do. There's a few Tritachyon ships around, but not much else. Large amounts of hegemony ships orbiting there. That's strange. Or at least it appears strange to me. But okay, let's just get up there. Let's head to Ragnar. Set our course and just go. Luckily, this is where all of our points we have put into navigation will help, because we are now travelling at burn 6. Normally we wouldn't be travelling half as fast if we hadn't upgraded our fleet abilities there. I do love our ships when they fly around each other like that. It's really cool. You can see the, just everything flying around. It's like pretty. It's very pretty. I like it. I might be a little bit odd today. The heat may be getting to me. It's currently 30 degrees outside. It's quite warm inside, even with all the windows open. There was a small fan going in the background. I've done some tests. You shouldn't be picking it up on the microphone. But if I'm wrong and you can hear a fan, I'm sorry, but otherwise I would die. I do not handle the heat well. Okay, where are we? Are we almost there? We are, in fact, almost there. Let's have a look. Oh, Hegemony Patrol trying to engage that Tritachyon fast picket. 2 small groups of fighters and 2 frigates. Not terrible. The relay we will leave alone. Ooh, are they going to actually fight? I don't think we've actually seen any fighting apart from the pirates. Who's going to win, though? Yeah, looks like they lost their fighters, and the Hegemony fast picket with exactly the same ships is going after them. Okay, well, let's go to Ragnar. So we are here for ships. What does the Hegemony military have for me to buy? Oh my god, I want that that battleship so badly. I really do want that battleship. Look at the size of it. It's huge. The Onslaught class battleship. 3 large ballistic mounts, 4 medium missile mounts, 6 small ballistic mounts, and 9 medium ballistic mounts. That would, plus, not to forget the built-in 2 thermal pulse cannon. I don't even know what these are, but they sound amazing. And the fact that they're built into the hull, I believe that is probably them there and there. It makes them sound very impressive. But I think we need to be a bit more reasonable with our money. We do have a lot of money, but we're going to need it. We need to keep ourselves, stocked up on supplies, stocked up on fuel. If we spend it all on ships, then we quickly will blow up and die. So, what are we actually going to buy? Well, there is an Eagle cruiser here. I mean, I do like the idea of a cruiser. Eagle-class cruisers are often found at the core of military fleets headed for battle. It's not hard to see why. A strong overall profile with a robust engine, the Eagle's deadly weapons package is a threat to all enemies. I like the sound of that already. The Eagle can deliver a strong tactical punch to enemy formations. Its numerous turret and hardpoint emplacement make it very dangerous to smaller foes. Decent armour and a strong shield emitter let it hold space while outnumbered, or even when faced with the rare larger ship. These strengths are somewhat countered by strikecraft. An Eagle captain must always watch their scopes for an approaching strike squadron, since their ship will easily be crippled by multiple hits from modern strike weapons. Okay. I mean, I like all of that. Apart from watch out for strikecraft, I think it's pretty good. It's got a front shield, which looks to be pretty impressive. Front shield arc of 270. It's got 8,000 hull integrity, 1,000 armour points. Maximum burn is 3, but I believe at our current level that will be +2, so we should still be able to outrun most pirate groups we've been seeing so far. It has manoeuvring jets as its ship systems, provides a brief boost to manoeuvrability and top speed, very useful actually, and mounts 2 small missiles, 3 medium energy, 3 medium ballistic, and 5 small energy. I'm in love. I'm buying it. Screw it. Just give me it. Take my money and give me it. 68,640 credits. It's actually not that much. Yes, we will buy that, and that is going to become my new flagship, by the way. Just so we're clear here. Is there actually anything on the open market? Not really. No. It was worth looking, but no. They also do have a Condor-like carrier for 25,000 credits. Now, I have been quite interested in these for a while because of the flight deck. It's only 25,000 credits, and there is a wing of Talon Interceptors for sale here, 5,000. So that would be just over 30,000 credits. But I think that might be worthwhile. I prefer better fighters than the Talons, but as long as we keep the carrier, they'll stay alive. So they'll be. Yeah. Okay, we're buying it. We're buying everything today. Condor light carrier and the Talon Interceptors. Congratulations, you just bought a new fighter wing. I haven't actually seen this message. Haven't used fighters in a long time. Fighter wing combat readiness represents the number of replacement fighter chassis available, but these can only be used if you have a ship with a flight deck in your fleet, which I now do with the carrier. New fighters will take off from a nearby flight deck to replace any losses taken in combat. As long as your fleet has a ship with proper repair facilities, i.e. a flight deck, a fighter wing cannot be completely lost, even if its combat readiness is reduced to 0. Which is actually pretty amazing when you think about it. You can send these guys in, take heavy casualties, and come out the other side and still repair them all, as long as you keep your carrier alive. So, we actually spent a fair bit of money there, but we do now have some pretty damn big ships. Where are we? So, the HSS Catillus Eagle-class customs cruiser, and the HSS Antigone Condor-class like custom carrier. Well, I'll have a look at you first, because you'll be the simpler one to set up. So you've got ballistic turret mounts, and yeah. Well, we're not going to really arm you for combat. We've got a couple of Vulcan cannons available here, so I think we'll probably go for those, just so you can defend yourself. And the medium missile turrets. Now, I'm actually considering using the Swarmer SRM launcher here. The idea would be to keep the Antigone away from combat, so operating a maximum effective range. Hopefully, anything trying to get past us, we could chase down and kill with the rest of our fleet. But fighters would probably be able to get through. So the biggest threat to the carrier could be fighters. So I'm going to equip it entirely with anti-fighter operations in mind, just try and keep it alive that little bit longer. No matter what I put on it, it's never really going to stand up in a solid fight against anything anyway. So bear in mind, I could equip it with all anti-ship weapons, but it's still not going to stand up in a fight. Even a small frigate could probably handle this on its own. Let's see. We could give it some blast doors. I'm a fan of those. And what else? Advanced turret gyros. Now it does have 2 turrets there, so that would make the turrets much faster, and its weapons flux is very low, so there's no real harm in doing that. Shield flux is pretty low as well. We could try and boost that. Stabilize shields. Reduces the amount of flux raised by shields generated by 50%. Probably don't need that. Accelerated shields increases the turn rate of the ship's shields by 100. Can these shields turn? Are they... Not sure if these shields actually rotate or not. I'll need to check that out later. But for the time being, let's just finish that off. There we go. That should probably handle her fine, and I think that will work out in our favour. And now the HSS Catillus. I actually quite like that name, Catillus. So you've got a lot of turrets. Some of the energy ones are a bit hard to see. So 5 small energy turrets. They don't have fantastic arcs, but there are a lot of them, so they should be at least able to double up in most places. Small missile hardpoints and 3 medium turrets, plus the ballistic mounts at the very front. This is all looking very nice. So, what do we want to put on this? Well, the small energy turrets are going to be tactical lasers. And in fact, there are 5. We have 1 in our cargo hold, and it looks like there are 4 available to buy from the hegemony. So, let's just go tactical lasers all the way, because they're great. Okay, now the missile hardpoints. I do like harpoons. They do have quite a long range. The Saber SRMs are also quite good. I do like the idea of this ship having a bit of long-range firepower. We've got 1 available, and there's more we can buy, I believe. Yep, they've got more down there. Okay, we're going to go for the Harpoon MRMs on here. No, I don't want the single mount one. I want more than that. There we go. That should provide a decent amount of firepower there. Now, what can we do for the medium energy mounts? We do have 2 antimatter blasters, but they're quite short-ranged, and they are only small mounts. I want something a bit bigger, really. Heavy Blaster fires bolts of energy at enemy targets. With high damage and flux costs, the Heavy Blaster is one of the most damaging weapons for its size. I do like the sound of that. Heavy Burst Laser, a heavier version of the PD Burst Laser. This weapon features a longer range and a greater number of built-in capacitors for higher upfront damage. So that does a DPS of 500, that is a DPS of 244 sustained. That does generate 720 flux per second. That is much less. I do kind of like the idea of the Heavy Burst Laser, actually. Simply because I'm terrible at managing my flux, and as you've seen, have a tendency to overload my Hammerhead class destroyer. So the Heavy Blaster, well, there's a high risk there that I just keep overloading myself in battle, and then we die. There's also the Pulse Laser, fires repeating bolts of energy, favouring the medium-range combatant that has the flux reserves and wants to put constant pressure on the enemy. Could be good. 303 DPS for 333 flux per second, or 244 DPS for 120. I think I want to go with the Heavy Burst Lasers. We'll try them out. If they don't work, I can just change them for something else. Yeah, let's do that. That's got a range of 600. That's got a range of 600. Graviton Beam. That's also quite useful. Maybe we want a Graviton Beam in there. Okay, I've got an idea. I do like the Graviton Beam because we've been using that to good effect on our frigate. So we'll put that in the middle, and then I'm going to flank it with Heavy Burst Lasers. Wow, that looks cool. Those are big turrets, but I kind of like that. And now, what we've got left, medium ballistic hardpoints at the very front, very narrow fire arcs. But that's okay, I think I can work with that. The assault chain gun could be good. Thumpers, again, could be good. They're all medium ballistics. Heavy needler for long range damage. Range of 800, which is pretty good. A dual mount of the light needler with a heavier base. This advanced weapon system is capable of overwhelming shield projectors very quickly. Maybe one of those in the middle wouldn't hurt. And then let's see, what could we flank it with? Heavy Mauler, an advanced weapon system designed to punch through armor plating at long range. Has a low rate of fire and a high per shot damage. Or assault chain guns. Or I'm torn between the assault chain guns and the thumpers, really. I do quite like the thumpers so far. Assault chain gun does do higher DPS in the high explosive, with a longer range, but the thumper is just very flux efficient. Let's try the assault chain gun. I don't see why not. We actually have one now, so we can put that in. So that's actually pretty good, I think. We'll have to see how this actually handles in combat, but it's certainly got a lot of guns on it. What modifications do we want? I think obviously we're going to want blast doors, and actually I want to increase the flux because we our capacity and our dissipation rate, because obviously we are generating 1,392 flux per second with all weapons firing. That's quite a lot. Got 10,300 flux capacity, but I'd like to raise that up a bit more if I could before we start trying to put anything else on this. And ideally, okay, with a flux dissipation of 706, that should take us only a couple of seconds to actually vent all of the flux once it's built up. Which I think would be very useful. Can I get up to, if I put that up to 12,100, that should mean we've got a good combat time now, and I can still fit a few more things. Accelerated shields, advanced turret gyros, that could be very useful considering how many turreted weapons we have on this ship. In fact, I think that'd actually be very useful, enabling us to track fast, small ships. And anything else, expanded missile racks could be the final thing, so we've got lots of harpoon MRMs to engage a long range. Resistant flux conduits reduces damage from EMP by 50%. Also increases the ship's flux dissipation rate while venting by 25%. I do like the idea of that one actually. So resistant to EMP and improves our flux dissipation rate by 25%. Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do with this ship. So, there we go, our new Eagle-class custom cruiser, the HSS Catillus. I do need to set up the weapons groups, but I'll do that off-camera as this episode's getting a bit long, so thank you very much for watching. Next episode, we'll probably be taking this out for a bit of a joyride and seeing what we can do. So, if you enjoyed this, leave a like, leave a comment, feel free to subscribe, and hopefully I will see you later. Bye!